Welcome, guys, and we're back after a week and a bit more with Karel. Today, it's gonna be a bit of a fast video, but it's gonna be packed. So we're basically gonna be looking at Super Karel and for loops, and then practice with for loops. So I'm gonna give a basic rundown of like what is going on, and then we're gonna go. Then we're gonna go to like the loop practices. We're not gonna do the debugging because I think you'll get most of it through the exercises. So just be sure to follow along. So we're gonna start with Super Carol with the exercise. Actually, I'm gonna explain everything in detail, but during the exercise, so don't worry about that. I just want to finish Carol quicker. So yeah, we still gotta go through if statements, while loops, control structures, and then the challenges. We're not gonna do the final project because what even is this supposed to be? Actually, I'm sorry that I'm doing this during the video, but students will the concept and skills manager. The students will scope their project, eliminate features. Students will present their project to their classmate and talk about how the project was developed. Huh. So, brainstorm and discuss. I'm actually curious about this. In this manner, you'll get to combine the skills you've learned in this course to create your own project from scratch and your brainstorm ideas. These different projects. What is the project idea? What will you create? What is the purpose of the project? What do you want to make this? To make this financial plan. Yeah, honestly, I think that the final project thingy is not necessary. That would only be if this was like an actual school and whatnot. So students can put their stuff into the final project. But honestly, I think that the Carol challenges will be the last thing we do. Uh, so yeah, we still got Super Carol to go, which we'll finish today. We got if statements, which I'll try to finish tomorrow, and while loops one day for them, control structures one day for them, and challenges that will probably span over two different videos. So then we can start jumping into other stuff like Python, which is way more useful. Carol, as I said multiple times, it's a language to get you start thinking in code, you know. It's a language to start making you talk in code. It's not that useful when it comes to workplace and whatnot. Although there are some like robots and stuff that you can basically like use what you've learned from Carol with them. You know, like the basic plugging in blocks of code and stuff. But anyways, let's go. Okay, so we got a world. This is by the way once again Super Carol. And Carol is supposed to do the same thing as the towers. Now, the thing with Super Carol is that you don't need to define the right function. Here, if we go into the documentation, you can see that Super Carol's built-in commands are move, turn left, we already knew those, turn around, take ball, put ball, but now you have a turn right. So now we don't have to write an own function to teach Carol how to turn right, because this already exists. We already have the turn right function defined for us in Super Carol. So let's write our code normally, okay? Let's not use any wild stuff. Let's not go for any loops and stuff. Let's just go for it, okay? So Carol's gonna move. Oops, that was outside of the function. Carol's gonna move once. Then she's gonna build tower. Let's make a function for that. Then she's gonna come down. Then she's gonna move. So move, build, down, move, move, build, and then turn right. Actually, let's leave the turn right into the build function itself. So over here, let's write our build function build. And now, so to build, assuming that Carol is down here in this little ball, she's gonna have to turn left, put ball, move, put ball, move, put ball, and the last move. And we're gonna finish this with a turn right. So that way it also works for a second build command, and it's enough to make Carol finish where she's supposed to be facing towards. So then to come down from there, assuming that she's turning to the right, function down. Oops. So now she's gonna have to turn right again. And then she's gonna move 1, 2, 3 times. And then she's gonna have to turn left. So that should be it. That should run pretty smoothly. She builds the first tower, then she moves, builds the second tower, and there you go. As I said, the only difference... Ooh, comments. Yeah, maybe you might want to do this. So, this function makes Karel build the tower. And then... Ooh, did I delete the other one? My bad. Yeah. This function makes Karel build a tower. And then this function makes Karel come down from a tower. There you go. So as I said, the only difference between Super Karel and Karel is that she can now come down. Whoops, sorry. She can now turn right. So let's click onto here, and here we have 2 exercises. So let's skip the video and let's go right to the exercises. And here we have 4 loops. Okay, here we're going to start looking at loops, which I've talked about for quite some time now. In fact, I started bringing them up in the very beginning when I kind of shouldn't have. But they're a thing now, okay? I've already talked about them. I've already introduced them to you. So what we're going to do here is that first I should explain probably what a variable, like what a for loop is. So function loop. Oops, that was written correctly. Loop. So a for loop is basically that for a certain amount of times, for a certain amount of things, you're going to repeat a certain code. So you begin by writing it for, and then you basically write it like that. You know, you do your parentheses and your curly brackets. In the for slot, you're going to define a variable. You're going to write variable and then some random letter, some random word. It can be anything. Variable I. So for variable I equals 0. Basically, we're saying that our variable I is equal 0. Okay, we have an I that is only for this function, an I that only exists in this function. So for this I, is going to be equal 0. Okay. Then we're going to make it I less than. We're supposed to take 100 balls. So 100. So we're basically saying here that as long as I is less than 100, something is going to happen down here. Okay? Here we're basically setting the floor, because we clearly say that I is equal to 5, and then it will start writing the code. Oops. It will start writing the code assuming that I is 5, but it's not. Okay? Most of the time you want to set your variable to 0. So for I equals 0, you're going to start building up from there and repeat here until it reaches 100. So how is this I going to reach 100? Well, to do that, here you write I plus plus. This I plus plus is basically telling the computer that every time that whatever code is written in here, every time that this is run, every time that this is executed, you're going to add 1 to I. And that way, it's going to keep adding the code from here. Like, every time it runs it, it's going to keep adding that point to I. And it's going to continue running until I is less than 100. So, pretty simple. It might seem a bit hard at first, because I remember struggling with for loops for a bit. I didn't really understand what was going on here specifically. But as I said, you set your floor here, you get your limit here, you set your limit here, and then you just put the adding expression. I think you can also make minus minus, but let's not get into that right now, okay? It's just I plus plus for now. So now what we're going to do is that we want Karel to take a ball for those 100 times. Now, I don't know if it wants me to have a specific function. Yeah, no, it doesn't require a specific name, so it can just be called loop. So Carol is gonna move once to get to where the balls are, and then she's gonna loop. She's gonna do that for loop, and then she's supposed to pick up the 100 balls. You can see how I increases every time that Carol takes a ball. And oops, we forgot about that. She's supposed to move at the end of that. So after the entire for loop is executed, in fact, let's do that once again, but now looking at it, you can see how it repeats the code inside of the loop until the I down here, I don't know if you saw it, until the I down here reaches 100. There it goes 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100. So that's pretty much what a for loop is. It's to repeat stuff without having to repeat that much stuff. So it's like let's say that you already have your functions, okay? And you need to repeat your functions several times over something that you can define easily, like here. So you're going to put your functions and you're going to store them in here. It can be into another function. Like for example here, this doesn't need to be a function. I can literally just write the for loop here. So we're going to write this again. For I equals 0, var I equals 0, comma, I less than 100, comma, semicolon, technically, I plus plus, take ball. And now, if we run it again, it's, ooh, move for var, ooh, yeah, I wrote a 1 instead of an I, my bad. So yeah, it's the same. You don't need to put this into a function to run it. You can have a for loop in the middle of your starting function. It doesn't matter. Okay, the main thing of this is that you cannot repeat stuff. You can repeat so much stuff without the need to write so much. And then this is also going to become very helpful later when we get into conditionals, but let's not get ahead of ourselves right now, okay? So we're going to jump into Dizzy Carol. So Carol is going to stay here, but she's going to spin 8 times. This means that she needs to turn left 32 times. So this is easy, okay, because we already saw what for loops are. So we're going to write a for loop here, and she needs to turn left, how much was it? 32 times. So we got our limit. We got our limit 32 times. So for, var I equals 0, I has to be less than 32. So 32, semicolon, I plus plus. Now, what does she need to do 32 times? She needs to turn left 32 times. So we're going to write turn left. Now, I can actually run this a bit slower, but still fast. And you will see that she will begin to turn left 30 times. You can see the I starting to grow up. It's 10, 15, 20, 25, and 32. There you go. Pretty simple. Okay? So, now, to finish off this section, we're going to look at the last 2 exercises. A for loop square is the first one. So we've already done a square before, you know? Try to lay down a square of 4 tennis balls using a for loop. So what does Carol need to do 4 times? Maybe even 3, okay? So if she puts a ball here, moves, puts a ball, move, put a ball, move, put a ball, move, turn left. Huh. The thing is, if we want her to, like, only use the loop, she has to move, put a ball, turn left, move, put a ball, turn left, move, put a ball, turn left, move, put a ball, turn left. Yeah, there you go. So we want Carol to move, then she's going to put a ball, then she's going to turn left. Okay, now here's the problem. This only makes us 1 ball. Because of course we need to use our for loops. So the problem is, how many times are we going to repeat this? So 1, 2, 3, 4. So for I equals 0, semicolon, I less than 4, semicolon, I plus plus, parentheses, squarely brackets. Ooh, I put that last parentheses wrong. And then we're gonna cut this. We're gonna paste it in the for loop. Oops. The indentation here is actually kind of messy. Yeah, because that's like by space bars and up. Oh well. Indentation is only there to make your code a bit more readable. You know, to make your code a bit more comprehensible. That should be okay. Okay, yeah, one more time. Apparently. Oops. There you go. So, like I said, indentation is just to make your code more readable. It's no biggie if you mess up indentation. Oh, unexpected colon. Yeah, that colon was not supposed to be there. So, well, not colon, sorry, parentheses. And now, yeah, this is why it was so weird to me, the indentation, because it's not supposed to be all the way over here. It only read like that because of the extra parentheses. Now, we got the main thing. We made the square with the for loop, but this is honestly, I don't like yellow in the left side of my, like where my code goes in. So I'm gonna just delete that as to where it should be. In fact, let me take it all the way back. That way it's easier to indent it all together. So this one goes 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. There we go. So now we submit and continue. Ooh. Now this is the thing. When you use I as your variable for a for loop, it doesn't really ask you to write var, but just do it. Just write variable every time you're gonna write this. Just write variable, so that way you can use different letters and words and whatever, and not confuse yourself. Just remember to write variable at the beginning of the for loop, and you're pretty much set to go. So then the last exercise for today, and then I promise I'll upload tomorrow or the day after. I'm not gonna disappear for another week. So we're gonna make Karel jump several hurdles. Now she needs to jump 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 hurdles, and then stop after the 5th one. So this is asking for a function jump hurdle. Now let's go ahead and write that. Okay, let's get that out of the book. Oops. So function jump hurdle. Okay, to jump a hurdle, Karel needs to. Okay, so assuming she's here, she needs to turn left, move, turn right, move. So turn left, move, turn right, move, turn right, move. Move. Turn left. And there she should be in this initial position as she was over here. So just to make it better and save some code here, we're also going to make this little walking part into a function. So from here to the border of the hurdle, Karel needs to move 1, 2 times. So let's write our double step function. Function double step. Move. Move. And now with that, we should be able to start writing our for loop. So for how many times does she need to jump? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So for here's the problem. We cannot put the double step inside of the function of the for loop. So for let's do it anyway. Let's see what happens. So var I equals 0 semicolon I less than 4 semicolon I plus plus curly brackets, and then 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, no, we should be okay. We should be okay because after she jumps the last hurdle, she doesn't need to move more. So first she's gonna have to do the double step, and then she's gonna jump hurdle. Now if we run the code, you see after every time that she does what is inside of the for loop, 1 gets added to I. Ooh, We're one behind. That's funny. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. She had to jump 5 times. Ooh. So now we should be okay. And there you go. So now this would be basically it. Let's do one debugging, you know. It's always nice to do one debugging. So Karel is supposed to go up the stairs and then pretty much stay there. Uh Karel said a part wants to go down the slide. For this you just care. Function for, you know, this is debugging. Of course they want Karel to be up here, but of course there's stuff wrong with the code. Uh I plus 1. I don't know if that works. Yeah, it's not adding anything to I. I is still in 0. Yeah, it's gonna go forever and ever and ever until Karel crashes against the wall. So now, in some languages like JavaScript, that would actually work, but for this specific, in fact, I think that this is based off of JavaScript, so I don't know what I'm thinking about. But we just need this to be plus plus. That's the problem. Uh, yeah, that's I think that's the only problem. Ooh, yeah, with this reset. Yeah, there you go. Now the eye is updating. 2, 3. There you go. Let's do the last one, you know, just for the heck of it. Let's go and do the last one. So now go down the slide. So first let's check if the first part is okay. Oh yeah, no, our climb step is still messed up. Our climb step is still plus 1, so that means that Karel is gonna go on forever until she crashes. And we don't want that. We don't want Karel to smack herself against the wall, so remember, plus plus. And now here, the second thing that I spotted, and that you probably should have, is that here the I is less than or equal to 4. So the problem with this is that it's not gonna get to the 4 to begin with. And then get a ball is not a correct thing to be calling. So first let's correct the easy stuff. So it's not even get ball. Oh wait, it is. Never mind. That is a function down here. So is she even supposed to take? Yeah, she's supposed to take the balls. Okay. So she needs to turn. Okay, let's try to see what happens. Okay. Okay, she crashes against the wall again. So the problem with this one, I think, again, is the loop itself, like the go down the slide for loop. So I is 2, 3, 4. Yeah, since you said less than or equal to 4, it's gonna keep going, and then it's gonna count 4. Here's the tricky thing. Since it says equal to 4, like, even if it was like this, if it was I equal 4, I mean, if it needs to like this, I equal less than or, yeah, 4, it's technically gonna do it 5 times. It's gonna do it 5 times, so basically you only need to delete that. I believe so. Let me restart. Now she needs to take the balls. 1, 2, 3, 4. There you go. So that's gonna be it for today, guys. Please tune in. The first Karel video has like over 100 views, and I am honestly impressed. But thank you for watching. Share, like, and subscribe, of course. If you have anybody that will be interested in this stuff, remember, there's a Python course coming in. Although I might do an HTML course first, just because HTML is easier. Python is very easy, of course, but I'll see you next time, guys, okay? The future to the future. Goodbye.